My sister's text arrived like a punch to the gut. Don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. We've decided to keep things small this year. In that moment, sitting in my modest apartment with 12 years of military service etched into my soul, I realized some battles never truly end. Jennifer Hartley. That's my name. 45 years old, decorated combat medic, and apparently no longer welcome at my own family's holiday table. The memories came flooding back, sharp and unforgiving. 12 years in the Army, 2 tours in Afghanistan. I'd seen things most people couldn't imagine, saved lives while risking my own, carried wounded soldiers through dusty, bullet-riddled landscapes. I'd learned to stitch wounds faster than most. Surgeons, comfort dying men in languages I barely understood, and survive conditions that would break most humans. But family? Family was supposed to be different. My deployment history wasn't just a list of missions, it was a testament to sacrifice. In 2009, during a particularly brutal operation in Kandahar province, I'd saved an entire platoon when our medical convoy was ambushed. Improvised explosive device, chaos, blood, screaming. I remembered pulling 3 critically wounded soldiers from a burning vehicle, administering emergency treatments while bullets whizzed past my head. The bronze star with V, Device for Valor, wasn't just a medal. It was a memory of that day, of the lives saved, of the promise I'd made to myself that no soldier would die on my watch. But somewhere between those battlefield heroics and coming home, I'd become invisible to my own family. My sister Karen had always been different, privileged, safe. While I was dodging bullets, she was climbing corporate ladders in Boston, marrying her investment banker husband, Michael, and raising 2 picture-perfect children in a suburban mansion. Our paths diverged long before my military service, but my deployments seemed to create an insurmountable chasm. The first signs of disconnect emerged gradually. Holiday conversations became increasingly stilted. Questions about my military experiences were met with uncomfortable silences. Michael would change the subject quickly, redirecting discussions to his latest business deal or the children's private school achievements. Karen would smile that practiced social smile, the one that never quite reached her eyes. When I was discharged in 2018, I thought things might change. I'd imagined heartfelt reunions, conversations about my experiences, maybe even a sense of pride from my family. Instead, I found polite distance, forced small talk, awkward family gatherings where my military background seemed like an inconvenient footnote. My parents, now in their late 70s, had always been more understanding. Dad, a Vietnam veteran himself, knew the unspoken language of soldiers, but they'd passed away 3 years ago, leaving me with no real anchor to familial connection. The final fracture came during my last visit, 2 Thanksgivings ago. I'd arrived wearing my service dress uniform directly from a veterans support group meeting where I'd been helping soldiers struggling with PTSD. Karen's children stared. Michael made some offhand comment about unnecessary dramatics, and my sister's eyes held something between pity and mild embarrassment. "Can't you dress normally?" she'd whispered. The kids find it uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. That word haunted me. I'd spent years ensuring others' comfort in the most hostile environments imaginable, and here I was, being told I made my own family uncomfortable by representing my service. My military pension was modest. I'd chosen to work part-time at a local VA hospital, counseling younger veterans, helping them navigate the complex emotional terrain of post-service life. The work was challenging, often heart-wrenching, but infinitely more meaningful than any corporate job I could imagine. This year's text from Karen felt like the final severance. "Don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. We've decided to keep things small this year." Translation: You're not welcome. I stared at the message, memories of blood-soaked battlefield bandages mixing with the sterile living room of my apartment. My service medals hung in a modest display case, each one a story of survival, of humanity preserved in the most inhumane conditions. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd spent years protecting the right of families like mine to gather safely, to enjoy peaceful holidays. And now I wasn't even invited to share a meal with my own flesh and blood. Something shifted inside me that afternoon, a resolve as solid and unyielding as the steel of my military training. If my family didn't want me, I knew exactly what I was going to do. There were other families out there, families who understood sacrifice, families who knew the true meaning of gratitude. And this Thanksgiving, I was going to find them. The VA. Hospital's community room felt different that morning. A subtle electricity hummed beneath the fluorescent lights, unlike the usual somber atmosphere of veterans' support meetings. Marcus, the program coordinator, watched me with a knowing smile as I pinned up a large bulletin board filled with Thanksgiving meal planning charts. "You're serious about this," he said, more statement than question. Veterans struggling with homelessness weren't statistics to me. They were stories, broken narratives waiting to be rebuilt, just like I was rebuilding my own sense of purpose. 3. Weeks after receiving Karen's dismissive text, I'd transformed my initial hurt into action. The idea had crystallized during a group therapy session with veterans battling PTSD and housing insecurity. One of the younger veterans, Jimmy, a 28-year-old Marine who'd lost both legs in an IED explosion, had mentioned how holidays were the loneliest times. "Most people see us as problems," Jimmy had said, his prosthetic legs gleaming under the harsh hospital lights. "Not as people who once risked everything." Those words burned into my consciousness. If my own family couldn't see me, I'd create a family for those who understood true sacrifice. The logistics were complex. Catering for homeless veterans required more than good intentions. I leveraged every connection from my military network. Fellow veterans, local businesses, community organizations. The VA hospital became my operational headquarters, with Marcus providing crucial support and resources. Local restaurants began donating. Mike's Deli promised turkey. Rodriguez Bakery committed to pies. A small catering company run by another, veteran offered to provide sides at cost. Each commitment felt like a small victory, a collective rebellion against societal indifference. My apartment transformed into a logistical command center. Spreadsheets covered my dining table. Donation. Receipts were meticulously organized. Phone calls became intricate negotiations of food quantities, dietary requirements, and transportation logistics. Sarah Chen, a veteran support coordinator, became my unexpected ally. A former Air Force logistics specialist, she understood precision. "We're not just serving a meal," she told me during one planning session. "We're restoring dignity." Her words resonated. This wasn't charity. This was recognition. The veteran community responded with an energy that surprised even seasoned advocates. Veterans who had nothing began offering what little they could: volunteer hours, connections, moral support. A network emerged, built on mutual understanding and respect. Jimmy, the Marine who'd sparked this initiative, became a core volunteer. Despite his physical challenges, he coordinated transportation for veterans who couldn't easily travel. His determination was infectious, transforming potential limitations into strategic advantages. Background checks were conducted discreetly. Mental health professionals were brought in to ensure a safe, supportive environment. Every detail was considered, every potential challenge anticipated. The local media caught wind of the project. A small feature in the city newspaper brought unexpected additional support. Donations started trickling in. Not just money, but warm clothing, personal care items, resources that went beyond the Thanksgiving meal. My military training kicked in naturally. Each challenge became a mission. Each obstacle, a tactical problem to solve. The same skills that had kept me alive in combat zones now channeled into creating something profoundly healing. Memories of my own isolation fueled the work. I remembered Christmases spent alone after returning from deployment, the silence of an empty apartment echoing louder than any battlefield. Those memories transformed into motivation, into a commitment that no veteran would feel that profound loneliness again. Local businesses began hearing about the project. A printing company offered free flyers. A transportation company provided buses. A community center donated their large hall for the event. What started as a personal response to family rejection was becoming a community movement. The week before, Thanksgiving, we had confirmed meals for over 200 veterans. Not just meals, but a complete experience. Warm food, medical screenings, mental health resources, clothing distributions, and most importantly, a sense of community. Marcus pulled me aside one afternoon. "Jennifer," he said, his voice soft but intense. "What you're doing is more than a meal. This is healing." I thought about my sister's text, about the family that had chosen to erase me, and I realized something profound. Family isn't defined by blood, but by understanding, by shared experience, by the ability to see each other's humanity. This Thanksgiving would be a statement, not of revenge, but of resilience, not of anger, but of hope. As I looked at the growing pile of donations, the meticulously planned meal schedules, the network of volunteers, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. I felt complete. Thanksgiving morning arrived with a crispness that cut through Boston's early winter air. The community center bustled with an energy that defied traditional holiday stillness. Volunteers in matching navy blue shirts moved with military precision, transforming the space into a sanctuary of warmth and dignity. Jimmy arrived first, helping set up accessibility stations. His prosthetic legs no longer seemed like a limitation, but a testament to resilience. Sarah Chen coordinated food stations with the same strategic focus she'd once applied to military logistics. Every detail was deliberate, every moment carefully planned. The first veterans began arriving at 10 a.m. Some walked in confidently, others hesitated at the doorway, years of invisible wounds etched into their postures. I watched each entrance, remembering my own journey of healing. An elderly veteran named Frank approached me, his World War II medallion gleaming on a worn jacket. "Never thought I'd see something like this," he muttered, his eyes moistening. "Last Thanksgiving I ate a cold sandwich alone in my apartment." Stories began unfolding around me like intricate tapestries. A young woman veteran named Arya, who had served as a combat medic in Iraq, shared how she'd been living in her car for months. A Korean War veteran named Robert spoke softly about losing connection with his family years ago. The meal was more than food. It was a lifeline. Each plate represented dignity. Each conversation, a chance at reconnection, not just with others, but with themselves. Media arrived midday. I'd been hesitant about their presence, worried it might feel like exploitation. But the journalists moved respectfully, capturing moments of genuine human connection. One photographer caught Jimmy helping an older veteran navigate the food line, their interaction speaking volumes about community and support. Midway through the event, an unexpected visitor arrived. Marcus from the VA hospital approached me with a strange expression. "There's someone here to see you," he said, his voice carrying an unusual tension. I turned, expecting another veteran or volunteer. Instead, I saw Karen standing awkwardly near the entrance, her perfectly pressed coat a stark contrast to the room's lived-in warmth. For a moment, time seemed to suspend. My sister, who had written me off with a casual text, now stood in a room full of veterans, looking completely out of place. "How did you find me?" The words escaped before I could filter them. Karen shifted uncomfortably. "Michael saw the news segment. I didn't know this was what you were doing." The room continued its symphony of conversations, laughter, and connection. Veterans shared meals, stories, moments of shared understanding. My sister watched, her perfectly composed exterior slowly cracking. I didn't invite her closer. I didn't need to. The space spoke for itself. A young veteran named Elena approached, carrying 2 plates. She'd served multiple tours as a combat engineer, rebuilding infrastructure in war-torn regions. Now she was rebuilding human connections. "Ms. Hartley," Elena said, "we've collected something we want you to see." A handmade book was presented. Each page contained a personal message from veterans who had attended the event. Stories of survival, moments of gratitude, expressions of hope. One message from Jimmy stood out. "You didn't just give us a meal. You gave us a family." Karen watched, her earlier dismissiveness evaporating. The carefully constructed walls of her suburban life seemed to crumble in the face of genuine human connection. As the afternoon progressed, something remarkable happened. Veterans who had arrived feeling isolated began supporting each other. A network formed organically, shared resources, contact information exchanged, promises of continued support. Medical professionals from the VA provided free screenings. Mental health counselors offered confidential support. What had started as a Thanksgiving meal had become a lifeline of comprehensive care. By late afternoon, I realized we'd served over 250 veterans. But the number felt insignificant compared to the human connections forged. Karen approached me as the event wound down. "I had no idea," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I never understood what you actually did." I didn't respond immediately. Years of hurt, of being marginalized, of feeling invisible, they all condensed into this moment. "This," I finally said, gesturing around the room, "is what I've always done. Saving lives, creating hope, not just on battlefields, but everywhere." As veterans began preparing to leave, each carrying a package of leftovers, warm clothing, and resource information, the room hummed with a profound sense of community. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Thank you for seeing us." In that moment, I understood the true meaning of family. It wasn't about blood or shared genetics. It was about recognizing each other's humanity, about creating spaces where no one feels invisible. Thanksgiving had never felt more meaningful. The aftermath of the Thanksgiving event rippled through my life like an unexpected tide. What had begun as a personal response to family rejection had transformed into something far more profound. Calls started coming in from veteran support organizations across the state. Some wanted to replicate our model. Others sought advice on community engagement. The small act of providing a Thanksgiving meal had become a blueprint for broader community support. Elena, the combat engineer who had presented the handmade book, became a key collaborator. Together, we began developing a more comprehensive support network for veterans facing housing and food insecurity. Local businesses started reaching out, offering job training programs, mental health resources, and sustainable support mechanisms. Karen's unexpected appearance at the event continued to reverberate in our family dynamic. A week after Thanksgiving, she called. Not a text, not an email, but an actual phone call. "I want to understand," she said, her voice carrying a vulnerability I'd never heard before. Our conversation was awkward, filled with years of unspoken tensions. She described how Michael had been shocked by the media coverage, how her children had questions about my work. They'd never seen that side of military service, Karen admitted. I didn't soften my stance. Years of being marginalized weren't erasable with a single conversation, but I offered something more valuable than forgiveness: understanding. Jimmy became a central figure in our expanding veteran support network. His work coordinating transportation and resources proved invaluable. Despite losing both legs in combat, he moved with a determination that redefined disability as simply another form of ability. The VA hospital began using our Thanksgiving model as a case study for community engagement. Marcus introduced me to national veterans organizations, sharing our approach to holistic support. Unexpected connections emerged. A local tech company offered free coding boot camps for veterans. A culinary school provided free professional cooking classes. Each organization brought a piece of the puzzle: employment, skills, mental health support. Sarah Chen discovered grant opportunities that could expand our work. We began drafting proposals to create a comprehensive veteran support center, something more than just a once-a-year event. My apartment, once a quiet space of solitude, became a strategic planning hub. Whiteboards covered with mission plans, contact lists, and support strategies replaced the military medals that had previously been my primary decoration. The media attention brought both challenges and opportunities. A documentary filmmaker expressed interest in capturing our story. While initially hesitant, I recognized the potential to raise awareness about veterans' challenges. Elena helped me understand something profound. "It's not about being a victim," she said during one planning meeting. "It's about showing our strength, our ability to rebuild." Karen's involvement remained tentative but genuine. She began making small contributions, connecting us with her corporate contacts, helping to spread awareness about veteran support initiatives. The most transformative moment came unexpectedly. A follow-up event for veterans who attended the Thanksgiving meal revealed deeper stories of resilience. Aria, the combat medic who had been living in her car, secured a stable job and housing through our network's connections. Frank, the World, War II veteran, started a storytelling group for older veterans, capturing their experiences and providing a sense of community. What had begun as a single Thanksgiving meal was creating ripple effects of support and connection. Michael, Karen's husband, reached out with a surprising offer. His investment firm was interested in creating a veteran entrepreneurship fund. The same man who had once seemed dismissive now wanted to provide tangible support. The holiday season became a testament to transformation. Each veteran we supported became a beacon of hope for others. The invisible were becoming visible. The marginalized were finding their voice. Our network expanded beyond Massachusetts. Veteran support groups from other states began reaching out, wanting to replicate our model. What had started as a personal response to family rejection was becoming a national movement. I thought often about my parents, both gone now. My father, a Vietnam veteran, would have understood this journey intrinsically. My mother, who had always supported my military service, would have been proud of how we were redefining community. The FI medals in my display case now seemed like more than just military decorations. They were symbols of a continuous mission, not just of service during war, but of service in peace. As the year drew to a close, I realized something profound. Family isn't defined by blood or shared genetics. It's defined by understanding, by support, by the ability to see each other's humanity. Our Thanksgiving meal had become something far greater than a single day of feeding veterans. It had become a movement of healing, of recognition, of hope. Winter descended on Boston with a ruthless intensity that seemed to mirror the challenges we'd been confronting. Our veteran support network had grown beyond anything I could have imagined that lonely day when Karen's text had triggered this journey. The first major challenge arrived in January. A funding crisis threatened to derail our entire operation. Government grants were delayed, and our initial corporate sponsorships were wavering. Jimmy called an emergency meeting, his prosthetic legs propped against the conference table in the VA hospital's community room. "We didn't survive war to be defeated by bureaucracy," he announced, a statement that drew resolute nods from everyone present. Sarah Chen began mapping out alternative funding strategies. Elena reached out to her network of veteran entrepreneurs. What could have been a moment of defeat became a strategic planning session that would redefine our approach. My sister Karen surprised everyone. Instead of offering sympathy, she brought in her company's legal team. "We're going to restructure. As a nonprofit," she told me, her corporate efficiency now channeled into something meaningful. The process was grueling. Endless paperwork, meetings that stretched late into the night, background checks, financial audits. Each document was a battle, each signature a small victory. Frank, our World War II veteran, became an unexpected source of wisdom. "We survived D-Day," he would say, watching our struggles. "This is nothing compared to what we've already overcome." Media attention brought both opportunities and challenges. A national news network wanted to do a feature on our veteran support initiative. The documentary filmmaker continued documenting our journey, capturing moments of vulnerability and strength. An unexpected ally emerged in Michael, Karen's husband. His investment firm began connecting us with resources we'd never imagined. Corporate networking events became platforms for veteran employment and support. The personal stories continued to pour in. Veterans who had been invisible were now finding voices, support, and opportunities. Arya secured a technology job. Jimmy started a mentorship program for veterans with disabilities. Each success became a beacon of hope. Tax season brought its own complications. Restructuring as a nonprofit was more complex than any military mission I'd ever undertaken. Lawyers, accountants, government officials. Each interaction required the same strategic thinking I'd used in combat zones. A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A Silicon Valley tech firm reached out, interested in creating a comprehensive digital platform for veteran support. Their proposal went beyond traditional job placement. It promised holistic support for mental health, skills training, and community building. Karen's involvement became more than superficial support. She began attending our strategy meetings, bringing insights from her corporate world. The sister who once seemed embarrassed by my military service was now a crucial ally in our mission. The VA hospital became more than a location. It transformed into a hub of veteran empowerment. Medical screenings, mental health support, job training. We were creating a comprehensive support ecosystem. Winter's harshest months tested our resolve. Homeless veterans faced brutal conditions. Our network expanded emergency housing initiatives, partnering with local shelters and community organizations. Each challenge became an opportunity. A setback in funding became a chance to innovate. A potential failure became a moment of strategic reimagining. The documentary crew captured moments that went beyond simple storytelling. They documented a movement of healing, of reclaiming dignity, of transforming pain into purpose. Elena developed a technology training program specifically for veterans with disabilities. Jimmy expanded the transportation support network. Sarah continued finding innovative funding sources. My apartment was no longer a place of solitude. It had become a strategic command center. Whiteboards filled with mission plans, contact lists, sprawling across tables. The network we'd created was becoming a national model. Other cities began reaching out, wanting to replicate our approach. What had started as a personal response to family rejection was now a movement of veteran empowerment. As spring approached, we hosted our first National Veteran Support Conference. Veterans from across the country came together, not as victims, but as survivors, as leaders, as a community. Frank, now in his 90s, became our elder statesman. His stories connected generations of veterans, bridging experiences from World War II to our current conflicts. Karen surprised everyone by funding scholarships for veterans' children. Michael's investment firm created a specialized veteran entrepreneurship fund. Their involvement was no longer about guilt. It was about genuine support. The documentary was becoming more than a film. It was a testament to veteran resilience, to the power of community, to the ability to transform personal pain into collective healing. Our Thanksgiving meal had been a catalyst. But what we'd created was far more than a single day of feeding veterans. We'd created a movement of recognition, of support, of hope. As I looked around at the network we'd built, I understood something profound. Family isn't about blood or shared genetics. It's about understanding, about support, about seeing each other's humanity. We were no longer invisible. We were unstoppable. The National Veteran Support Conference transformed our small initiative into a movement that reverberated. Across the country, delegates from 47 states gathered in Boston, each bringing stories of resilience, struggle, and hope. Our organization, now officially named Horizon Veterans Network, had become more than a support group. We were a lifeline, a community, a revolutionary approach to veteran support. An unexpected invitation arrived from the Pentagon. A special committee wanted to review our holistic support model. The same military institution that had once discharged veterans with minimal transition support now sought our insights. Jimmy took center stage during the conference's keynote panel. His prosthetic legs were no longer a symbol of limitation, but of extraordinary resilience. "We're not asking for sympathy," he declared. "We're demanding recognition and opportunity." The stories shared were raw, powerful. Veterans who had been homeless now ran successful businesses. Those struggling with PTSD had found innovative healing approaches. Our network had become a catalyst for transformation. Sarah Chen's data-driven approach proved crucial. She developed a comprehensive tracking system that mapped veteran support outcomes. Numbers told a compelling story. Employment rates up, mental health hospitalizations down, community engagement significantly increased. Elena's technology training program had become a national model. Tech companies were now actively recruiting veterans, recognizing the unique skills developed through military service. Karen's involvement continued to evolve. Her corporate connections brought unprecedented resources. What had begun as a tentative attempt to understand had become a genuine commitment to veteran support. The documentary crew captured every moment. Their footage was becoming more than a film. It was a historical document of veteran resilience. Funding challenges remained, but we'd developed a multi-layered approach. Corporate sponsorships, government grants, private donations. We'd created a sustainable ecosystem of support. Frank, our eldest veteran, became a living bridge between generations. His stories connected World War II experiences with current veteran challenges. Young veterans listened with reverence, understanding the continuous thread of military service. A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A major technology company announced a nationwide veteran hiring initiative, directly inspired by our network's approach. Thousands of veterans would now have access to meaningful employment. The Pentagon meeting was a turning point. Military leadership listened as we presented our holistic support model. No longer were veterans seen as problems to be managed, but as valuable resources to be supported and empowered. Media coverage exploded. National news networks ran feature stories. Our approach was being discussed in congressional hearings, in corporate boardrooms, in community centers across the country. Michael's investment firm created a specialized veteran entrepreneurship fund. Millions of dollars were now dedicated to supporting veteran-led businesses. Our Thanksgiving meal, that initial act of defiance and hope, had become a national movement of veteran empowerment. Legislative changes began to take shape. Proposals for comprehensive veteran support programs were being drafted, inspired by our network's approach. Mental health support became a central focus. We'd proven that traditional approaches were insufficient. Veterans needed comprehensive, holistic support that addressed entire life experiences. The documentary captured moments of profound transformation. Veterans who had been invisible were now leaders, innovators, community builders. Our network expanded internationally. Veterans from other countries reached out, wanting to replicate our support model. Karen's personal transformation continued. She'd become more than a supporter. She was now a true advocate for veteran support. The conference's final day brought a moment of profound connection. Veterans from different generations, different conflicts, came together. Not as victims, but as survivors, as leaders. Jimmy introduced a new initiative, a comprehensive veteran support platform that would provide end-to-end support. From mental health resources to job training, from community building to personal development. Sarah's data showed remarkable outcomes. Veterans in our network were experiencing unprecedented levels of success. Employment rates soared. Mental health challenges decreased. Community engagement increased exponentially. The Pentagon. Representatives watched, taking detailed notes. Our approach was challenging everything they thought they knew about veteran support. Elena unveiled a groundbreaking technology training program. Veterans with disabilities were no longer seen as limitations, but as unique resources with extraordinary potential. Frank shared a final message that brought the entire conference to tears. "We've always been more than our wounds," he said. "We are survivors, leaders, innovators." As the conference concluded, I understood something profound. What we'd created was more than a support network. We'd created a movement of recognition, of empowerment, of hope. The invisible had become unstoppable. Autumn returned, bringing with it memories of that first transformative Thanksgiving. The Horizon Veterans Network had become a national beacon of hope, a testament to the power of community and resilience. A personal invitation arrived from the White House. A special ceremony honoring innovative community leaders would recognize our work. The same government that had once discharged veterans with minimal support now sought to celebrate our approach. Jimmy prepared his speech with the same strategic precision he'd once applied to military missions. Elena developed a multimedia presentation showcasing our network's impact. Sarah compiled data that told a story of extraordinary transformation. Karen flew in from New York, her corporate attire now accompanied by a deeper understanding of veteran experiences. Michael had become a key financial supporter, his investment firm fully committed to our mission. The ceremony was more than a recognition. It was a validation of every veteran who had ever felt invisible, forgotten, or marginalized. During rehearsals, Jimmy shared a story that captured our journey's essence. "When I lost my legs," he told the team, "I thought I'd lost my purpose. Now I understand. Purpose isn't about what you've lost. It's about what you can create." Media coverage intensified. National news networks ran feature stories about our network's innovative approach. Congressional hearings began discussing systemic changes to veteran support. Frank, now in his 90s, became our living connection to military history. His stories bridged generations, showing how veteran support had evolved. He spoke of World War II veterans returning to indifference, compared to the comprehensive support we now provided. The documentary team continued capturing our journey. What had begun as a simple film had become a historical document of veteran empowerment. Unexpected allies emerged. Tech companies, previously disconnected from veteran experiences, now actively recruited from our network. Corporate leadership, programs specifically designed for veterans proliferated. Sarah's data told a compelling story. Veterans in our network showed significantly higher employment rates, lower mental health hospitalization rates, and increased community engagement. Elena developed a technology platform that became a model for veteran support. Not just a job, placement service, but a comprehensive ecosystem of support, training, and community building. The White House ceremony became a pivotal moment. Representatives from every branch of military service attended. Veterans from different generations sat together, a living testament to our network's impact. Karen's involvement had transformed from tentative support to genuine advocacy. Her corporate connections brought resources we'd never imagined possible. Michael's investment firm created a specialized veteran entrepreneurship fund. Millions of dollars now supported veteran-led businesses, transforming economic opportunities. The Pentagon representatives who had initially viewed our approach with skepticism now sought our guidance. Military transition programs began incorporating our holistic support model. A breakthrough came in mental health support. Our network had proven that traditional approaches were insufficient. We'd developed a comprehensive model that addressed entire life experiences, not just clinical symptoms. International interest grew. Veterans from other countries reached out, wanting to replicate our support approach. The ceremony's keynote speaker was a surprise. A veteran who had been homeless just 2 years ago now stood as a successful entrepreneur, directly supported by our network. Jimmy's speech brought the audience to tears. "We are not defined by our wounds," he declared. "We are defined by our ability to transform pain into purpose." Frank received a special recognition, representing generations of veterans who had been overlooked. His presence was a bridge between past sacrifices and current possibilities. Elena showcased technology initiatives that redefined disability. Veterans with physical challenges were now seen as unique resources with extraordinary potential. Sarah presented data that told a story of transformation. Employment rates soared, mental health challenges decreased, community engagement increased exponentially. The documentary captured moments of profound human connection. Veterans from different conflicts, different generations found common ground. Karen introduced a new corporate initiative. Her company would now provide comprehensive support for veterans transitioning to civilian life. Michael's investment fund announced millions in support for veteran-led businesses. The economic landscape was changing, with veterans at the center of innovation. As the ceremony concluded, I understood something profound. What we'd created was more than a support network. We'd created a movement of recognition, of empowerment, of hope. The invisible had not just become visible, they had become unstoppable. Our journey that began with a simple Thanksgiving meal had transformed into a national movement of veteran support and empowerment. Winter descended with a quiet intensity, bringing reflection to our ever-expanding veteran support network. The White House ceremony had been more than a moment of recognition. It was a catalyst for nationwide transformation. Legislative changes began taking shape. Congressional committees drafted comprehensive veteran support bills, directly inspired by the Horizon Veterans Network's holistic approach. What had started as a personal response to family rejection had become a national blueprint for veteran care. Jimmy's leadership continued to redefine disability. His mentorship program for veterans with physical challenges expanded, creating unprecedented opportunities. Tech companies now competed to recruit veterans, recognizing the unique skills developed through military service. Sarah's data continued to tell a story of extraordinary transformation. Veterans in our network showed remarkable resilience. Employment rates soared. Mental health hospitalizations dropped. Community engagement reached levels previously unimaginable. Elena developed a groundbreaking technology platform that became the gold standard for veteran support. It wasn't just a job placement service. It was a comprehensive ecosystem of support, training, and community building. Frank, our eldest veteran, became a living bridge between generations. His stories connected World War II experiences with current veteran challenges, providing context and depth to our mission. Karen's involvement had transformed from tentative support to passionate advocacy. Her corporate connections brought resources that expanded our reach exponentially. Michael's investment firm created specialized funds supporting veteran-led businesses. The documentary team continued capturing our journey. What had begun as a simple film had become a historical document of veteran empowerment, showing the incredible potential of community-driven support. International interest grew. Delegations from multiple countries visited to understand our approach. Veterans from Australia, Canada, and European nations sought to replicate our network's model. A breakthrough came in mental health support. We'd proven that traditional approaches were insufficient. Our comprehensive model addressed entire life experiences, not just clinical symptoms. Pentagon leadership now sought our guidance regularly. Military transition programs began incorporating our holistic support approach. The same institution that had once minimally supported veterans now looked to us for innovative solutions. Jimmy launched a national veterans leadership program. Veterans with disabilities were no longer seen as limitations, but as unique resources with extraordinary potential. Corporate leadership programs specifically designed for veterans proliferated. Sarah's research revealed deeper insights. Veterans in our network didn't just find jobs, they became community leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators. Our support model had created a ripple effect of empowerment. Elena's technology initiatives redefined possibilities. Adaptive technologies, specialized training programs, comprehensive support systems. We were breaking down barriers that had existed for generations. The national conversation about veterans transformed. No longer were they seen as problems to be managed, but as valuable resources to be supported and empowered. Frank continued sharing wisdom, connecting generations of veterans. His stories became a crucial part of our educational programs, bridging historical experiences with current challenges. Karen developed corporate training programs focused on veteran integration. Her approach transformed how companies viewed veteran hiring and support. Michael's investment fund became a catalyst for veteran entrepreneurship. Millions were now dedicated to supporting veteran-led businesses, creating economic opportunities previously unimaginable. Legislative victories mounted. New laws provided comprehensive support for veterans, addressing everything from mental health to economic opportunities. Our network had become a blueprint for national policy. The Pentagon's approach underwent a fundamental transformation. Veteran housing support was no longer an afterthought, but a comprehensive, holistic mission. International recognition continued to grow. Veterans from around the world looked to our network as a model of comprehensive support and empowerment. Jimmy's leadership continued to inspire. His personal journey from combat injury to national leader became a powerful narrative of resilience and possibility. Sarah's data told a story of systemic transformation. Veterans were no longer falling through the cracks. They were rising, leading, creating, innovating. Elena's technology platform became a global model for veteran support. Comprehensive, adaptive, transformative. It redefined what support could look like. Frank's wisdom continued to guide us. His connection to military history provided context, depth, and understanding to our mission. Karen's advocacy reached new heights. Corporate America was fundamentally changing its approach to veteran support. Michael's investment in veteran initiatives created unprecedented economic opportunities. As the year drew to a close, I reflected on our journey. What had begun with a simple Thanksgiving meal had become a national movement of veteran empowerment. The invisible had not just become visible, they had become unstoppable. Our network was more than an organization. It was a testament to the power of community, resilience, and hope. Spring arrived with a promise of renewal, much like the transformation our veteran network had undergone. The Horizon Veterans Network had become more than an organization. It was a movement of hope, resilience, and systemic change. An unexpected invitation arrived from the United Nations. A global conference on veteran support and community reintegration would feature our network as a primary case study. The same international body that had long struggled with veteran support now sought our insights. Jimmy prepared for the international presentation with the same strategic precision he'd applied to military missions. His prosthetic legs were no longer a symbol of limitation, but a testament to human adaptability. Sarah's data told a compelling global story. Our comprehensive support model showed measurable impacts across multiple dimensions of veteran life: mental health, economic, opportunity, community engagement. Elena developed a global technology platform that would extend our support model internationally, not just a technological solution, but a comprehensive ecosystem of veteran empowerment. Frank, our eldest veteran, became our global ambassador. His stories connected veteran experiences across generations and continents, a living bridge between historical sacrifices and current possibilities. Karen's corporate connections transformed the international conversation. Her approach showed how businesses could become true partners in veteran support, not just passive contributors. Michael's investment fund expanded its global reach. Veteran-led businesses now received support across international boundaries. The documentary team continued capturing our journey. What had begun as a local initiative was now a global narrative of veteran transformation. Legislative victories continued to mount. Countries around the world began examining our comprehensive support model. Veterans were no longer seen as burdens, but as valuable community resources. Jimmy launched an international veterans leadership program. Physical challenges were reframed as unique opportunities for innovation. Corporate leadership programs specifically designed for veterans began proliferating globally. Sarah's research revealed deeper global insights. Veterans weren't just finding jobs, they were becoming community leaders, social innovators, global changemakers. Elena's technology initiatives broke down international barriers. Adaptive technologies, specialized training programs, comprehensive support systems became global resources. The United Nations Conference became a pivotal moment. Representatives from over 50 countries attended, seeking to understand our comprehensive approach to veteran support. Frank shared stories that transcended national boundaries. His experiences connected veteran struggles and triumphs across generations and cultures. Karen developed international corporate training programs focused on veteran integration. Her approach transformed how global businesses viewed veteran hiring and support. Michael's investment fund became a global catalyst for veteran entrepreneurship. Millions were now dedicated to supporting veteran-led businesses across continents. The Pentagon's approach influenced global military transition programs. Veteran support was no longer a national concern, but a global responsibility. Jimmy's personal journey became an international narrative of resilience. From combat injury to global leader, his story inspired veterans worldwide. Sarah's data told a story of global transformation. Veterans were no longer marginalized, but recognized as crucial community resources. Elena's technology platform became a global model of comprehensive support. Adaptive, innovative, transformative. It redefined veteran support internationally. Frank's wisdom provided a historical context that connected veteran experiences across generations and cultures. Karen's advocacy reached unprecedented global heights. Corporate approaches to veteran support were fundamentally changing worldwide. Michael's investment in veteran initiatives created economic opportunities that crossed national boundaries. The United Nations report highlighted our network's innovative approach, a comprehensive model that addressed mental health, economic opportunity, community reintegration. International media coverage exploded. Our network was featured in global publications, documentaries, academic research. Veterans from around the world began connecting through our platform. A global community of support, resilience, and transformation emerged. Technology became a crucial connector. Veterans from different countries shared experiences, support, opportunities. Educational institutions began incorporating our comprehensive support model into research and training programs. Global policy discussions shifted. Veterans were no longer seen as problems to be managed, but as valuable resources to be supported and empowered. The conference's final day brought a moment of profound global connection. Veterans from different countries Different conflicts found common ground. As the conference concluded, I understood something profound. What we'd created was more than a support network. We'd created a global movement of recognition, of empowerment, of hope. The invisible had not just become visible. They had become a global force of transformation. Our journey that began with a simple Thanksgiving meal had transformed into an international movement of veteran support and empowerment. Summer arrived with an intensity that matched our network's global momentum. The Horizon Veterans Network had become more than an organization. It was a living, breathing testament to human resilience and transformation. An unexpected challenge emerged. Critics began questioning our rapid global expansion, challenging the sustainability of our comprehensive support model. But challenges had always been our catalyst for innovation. Jimmy led our response with strategic precision. His leadership transcended physical limitations, demonstrating how true strength emerges from adversity. Corporate partners rallied, providing resources and support that silenced our most vocal critics. Sarah's data became our most powerful weapon. Comprehensive research documented our impact across multiple dimensions: mental health improvements, economic opportunities, community reintegration success rates. Elena developed advanced technology platforms that addressed critics' concerns. Not just a technological solution, but a dynamic, adaptable ecosystem of veteran support. Frank continued to be our historical anchor. His stories connected veteran experiences across generations, providing context and depth to our mission. Karen's corporate strategy became increasingly sophisticated. She transformed skepticism into opportunity, demonstrating how veteran support could be both socially responsible and economically viable. Michael's investment approach evolved. Venture capital now saw veteran-led businesses as prime investment opportunities, not charitable causes. The documentary team captured our most challenging moments. Our journey was no longer a simple narrative of success, but a complex story of persistent transformation. Legal challenges tested our resolve. Regulatory bodies in multiple countries scrutinized our innovative approach. Each challenge became an opportunity to refine our model. Jimmy's leadership program expanded, addressing systemic barriers faced by veterans with disabilities. Corporate leadership models were fundamentally redesigned. Sarah's research revealed deeper, more nuanced insights. Veterans weren't just finding employment, they were becoming social innovators, policy changers, global leaders. Elena's technology initiatives broke through technological and social barriers. Adaptive technologies created unprecedented opportunities for veteran integration. International policy discussions transformed. Veterans were now seen as crucial resources for innovation, economic development, community building. Frank's wisdom provided historical context that challenged traditional veteran support models. His experiences bridged generations of military service. Karen developed advanced corporate integration programs. Global businesses began seeing veteran hiring as a strategic advantage, not a social obligation. Michael's investment fund became a catalyst for global economic transformation. Veteran-led businesses emerged as key drivers of innovation. The Pentagon's approach influenced global military transition programs. Comprehensive support became a standard, not an exception. Jimmy's personal journey became a global narrative of resilience and possibility. Physical challenges were reframed as unique opportunities for innovation. Sarah's data told a story of systemic global transformation. Veterans were emerging as leaders in multiple sectors: technology, policy, social innovation. Elena's technology platform became a global model of comprehensive, adaptive support. Innovation became the primary language of veteran empowerment. Frank's connections transcended national boundaries. His stories became a crucial resource for understanding military service's long-term impacts. Karen's advocacy reached unprecedented levels of sophistication. Corporate approaches to veteran support were fundamentally reimagined. Michael's investments created economic ecosystems that supported veteran innovation globally. International academic institutions began studying our model. Doctoral research, policy papers, global conferences explored our comprehensive approach. Technology became a powerful connector. Veterans from different countries shared experiences, opportunities, support strategies. Global policy frameworks began incorporating our comprehensive support model. Veterans were recognized as crucial resources for societal innovation. The most profound transformation was cultural. The narrative around veteran support shifted from limitation to limitless. Potential legal victories mounted. New international regulations recognized veterans as dynamic, adaptable resources. Our network became more than an organization. It was a global movement of recognition, empowerment, transformation. Funding models evolved. Traditional charitable approaches gave way to strategic investment in veteran potential. Educational institutions developed specialized programs based on our comprehensive support model. Global media coverage highlighted veteran success stories. The narrative shifted from challenges to extraordinary achievements. Technology platforms created unprecedented connectivity. Veterans became a global community of support and innovation. Our approach challenged fundamental assumptions about disability, service, potential. As summer reached its peak, I reflected on our journey. What had begun with a simple Thanksgiving meal had transformed into a global movement of veteran empowerment. The invisible had not just become visible. They had become an unstoppable global force of transformation. Our network was more than an organization. It was a testament to the power of community, resilience, and human potential. Autumn returned, bringing with it a sense of profound transformation. The Horizon Veterans Network had become more than an organization. It was a living testament to the power of human resilience, community, and purpose. An unexpected invitation arrived from the White House. A comprehensive review of national veteran support policies would feature our network as the primary model for systemic change. The same government institutions that had long struggled with veteran support now sought our comprehensive approach. Jimmy prepared for the policy review with the same strategic precision he'd applied throughout his military career. His prosthetic legs were no longer a symbol of limitation, but a powerful statement of human adaptability and strength. Sarah's comprehensive data research became the cornerstone of our presentation. Years of meticulous tracking revealed a transformative story of veteran empowerment, mental health outcomes, economic opportunities, community engagement. Our model had rewritten the narrative of veteran support. Elena developed an advanced technology platform that would become the blueprint for future veteran support systems. It was more than a technological solution. It was a comprehensive ecosystem of human potential. Frank, our eldest veteran, continued to be our living historical bridge. His stories connected generations of military service, providing context and depth to our mission. Karen's corporate strategy had evolved into a sophisticated approach to veteran support. She demonstrated how supporting veterans was not just a social responsibility, but a strategic economic opportunity. Michael's investment approach had transformed entire economic landscapes. Venture capital now saw veteran-led businesses as prime innovation centers, not charitable causes. The documentary team captured our most profound moments of transformation. Our journey was no longer a simple narrative of success, but a complex story of persistent human potential. Legal and policy challenges continued to test our resolve. Regulatory bodies across multiple levels of government scrutinized our innovative approach. Each challenge became an opportunity to refine our comprehensive model. Jimmy's leadership program expanded beyond traditional boundaries. Corporate leadership models were fundamentally redesigned to recognize and support veteran potential. Sarah's research revealed increasingly nuanced insights. veterans were not just finding employment, they were becoming social innovators, policy changers, global leaders. Elena's technology initiatives continued to break through systemic barriers. Adaptive technologies created unprecedented opportunities for veteran integration and innovation. International policy discussions underwent fundamental transformation. Veterans were now seen as crucial resources for societal innovation, economic development, community building. Frank's wisdom provided historical context that challenged traditional veteran support models. His experiences bridged generations of military service, offering profound insights. Karen developed advanced corporate integration programs that redefined workplace diversity and inclusion. Global businesses began seeing veteran hiring as a strategic advantage of innovation. Michael's investment fund became a global catalyst for economic transformation. Veteran-led businesses emerged as key drivers of innovation across multiple sectors. The Pentagon's approach to veteran support underwent a complete reimagining. Comprehensive, holistic support became the standard, not an exception. Jimmy's personal journey became a global narrative of resilience and possibility. Physical challenges were consistently reframed as unique opportunities for innovation and growth. Sarah's data told a comprehensive story of systemic global transformation. Veterans were emerging as leaders in technology, policy, social innovation, and community development. Elena's technology platform became a global model of comprehensive, adaptive support. Innovation became the primary language of veteran empowerment. Frank's connections transcended national and generational boundaries. His stories became a crucial resource for understanding the long-term impacts of military service. Karen's advocacy reached unprecedented levels of sophistication and impact. Corporate approaches to veteran support were fundamentally reimagined as strategic opportunities. Michael's investments created economic ecosystems that supported veteran innovation on a global scale. International academic institutions developed entire research programs around our comprehensive support model. Doctoral research, policy papers, global conferences explored our innovative approach. Technology became an unprecedented connector. Veterans from different countries, backgrounds, and experiences shared support strategies, opportunities, and collective wisdom. Global policy frameworks began incorporating our comprehensive support model as a standard approach. Veterans were recognized as dynamic, adaptable resources with extraordinary potential. The most profound transformation was cultural. The narrative around veteran support shifted from limitation to limitless potential, from challenges to extraordinary achievements. Legal victories continued to mount. New international and national regulations recognized veterans as crucial resources for societal innovation and economic development. Our network had become more than an organization. It was a global movement of recognition, empowerment, and transformative. Potential funding models evolved beyond traditional charitable approaches. Strategic investment in veteran potential became the new standard. Educational institutions developed specialized programs that recognized the unique skills and perspectives of veterans. Global media coverage highlighted veteran success stories, shifting narratives from challenges to extraordinary achievements. Technology platforms created unprecedented global connectivity. Veterans became a powerful, interconnected community of support and innovation. Our approach challenged fundamental assumptions about disability, service, potential, and human capability. As autumn's leaves began to fall, I reflected on our extraordinary journey. What had begun with a simple Thanksgiving meal had transformed into a global movement of veteran empowerment. The invisible had not just become visible. They had become an unstoppable global force of transformation and hope. Our network was more than an organization. It was a testament to the power of community, resilience, and human potential. Winter descended with a quiet intensity, bringing reflection to our journey. the Horizon Veterans Network had become more than an organization. It was a living testament to the power of human resilience, transformation, and hope. A final invitation arrived. The United Nations requested a comprehensive global summit on veteran support, with our network serving as the primary model for international policy development. What had begun as a personal response to family rejection had transformed into a global movement of veteran empowerment. Jimmy prepared for the summit with the same strategic precision that had defined his entire journey. His prosthetic legs, once a symbol of limitation, now represented the extraordinary potential of human adaptation. Sarah's comprehensive research would serve as the foundation of our presentation. Years of meticulous data collection told a story of profound transformation, mental health improvements, economic opportunities, community reintegration success that defied previous expectations. Elena developed a final technology platform that would serve as a global blueprint for veteran support. More than a technological solution, it was a comprehensive ecosystem of human potential and innovation. Frank, our eldest veteran, continued to be our living historical bridge. His stories connected generations of military service, providing context, wisdom, and hope. Karen's corporate strategy had evolved into a sophisticated global approach to veteran support. She demonstrated how supporting veterans was not just a social responsibility, but a critical strategy for societal innovation. Michael's investment approach had transformed entire global economic landscapes. Veteran-led businesses were now seen as prime centers of innovation and economic development. The documentary team captured our most profound moments of transformation. Our journey was a complex narrative of persistent human potential, of turning challenges into extraordinary opportunities. As we reflected on our journey, I thought about that lonely Thanksgiving when a simple text had sparked this incredible transformation. Family rejection had become the catalyst for a global movement of veteran empowerment. Jimmy's leadership program had expanded beyond traditional boundaries. Corporate and governmental approaches to veteran support were fundamentally redesigned. Sarah's research revealed the profound impact of our comprehensive approach. Veterans were not just finding employment, they were becoming social innovators, policy changers, global leaders. Elena's technology initiatives continued to break through systemic barriers. Adaptive technologies created unprecedented opportunities for veteran integration and innovation. Frank's wisdom provided historical context that challenged traditional veteran support models. His experiences bridged generations, offering profound insights into military service and human resilience. Karen developed advanced integration programs that redefined workplace diversity and inclusion. Global businesses now saw veteran hiring as a strategic advantage of innovation. Michael's investment fund had become a global catalyst for economic transformation. Veteran-led businesses emerged as key drivers of innovation across multiple sectors. The summit became a pivotal moment of global recognition. Representatives from over 60 countries gathered to understand our comprehensive approach to veteran support. Jimmy's personal journey became a powerful narrative of resilience and possibility. Physical challenges were consistently reframed as unique opportunities for innovation and growth. Sarah's data told a comprehensive story of systemic global transformation. Veterans were emerging as leaders in technology, policy, social innovation, and community development. Elena's technology platform became a global model of comprehensive, adaptive support. Innovation became the primary language of veteran empowerment. The most profound transformation was cultural. The narrative around veteran support shifted from limitation to limitless potential, from challenges to extraordinary achievements. As the summit concluded, I understood something profound. What we'd created was more than a support network. We'd created a global movement of recognition, of empowerment, of hope. Looking back, I remembered that lonely Thanksgiving when a simple text had seemed like the end of everything. Now, I realized it was just the beginning. To every veteran watching this, you are not defined by your challenges. You are defined by your extraordinary potential. To those who have felt invisible, forgotten, or marginalized, your story is not over. It's just beginning. Our journey proves that one moment of pain can become a movement of hope. One act of resilience can transform lives, communities, and entire systems. If you're a veteran struggling to find your place, know this: you are not alone. You are not broken. You are a source of extraordinary potential. To our supporters, our volunteers, our global community, thank you for believing in the power of veterans. This is more than a story. This is a movement, and it's just getting started. If you've been moved by this story, if you want to be part of something bigger, subscribe to our channel, share this video, spread the message of veteran empowerment. Together, we can transform lives. Together, we can create a world where no veteran is ever invisible again. Subscribe now. Your journey of hope begins here.